So, season 27 is finally here. After all the lawsuits, after all the legal tug of war between Paramount, HBO, and both Matt and Trey. And somehow, no one feels like they truly won. Which, yeah, is already saying a lot, because the first episode of the season, Sermon on the Mount, it isn't just return after a hiatus that lasted over a year. It's a reckoning. I mean, it's uncomfortable, it's sharp, it's funny in the kind of way that makes you laugh at times and then immediately feel weird about laughing. Like, when I tell you, I genuinely gasped during the big reveal in this episode, which we will get to very soon. So today, let's talk about it. Also, I literally stayed up all night to make this video, so if you could please give it a like and maybe subscribe, that would be totally awesome. I make videos like this every other week, but for South Park, I will be doing a video for each new episode release. So if you like this, feel free to stick around. Maybe also feel free to watch my other videos on the channel as well. Anyways, enough with the show, let's talk about this episode and what it's actually saying, and what it's probably not saying. Because, yeah, there's a lot going on, both in the show's canon and in the meta context wrapped around it like a legally specific tortilla. This episode does not tiptoe around the message at all. Satire is far too gone that it's just what we see on the news now. This is put on full display throughout this episode, and usually when people say that, they're being cheeky, like, wow, it's just an article from The Onion, that kind of thing. But here, South Park is no longer beating around the bush. They are going full out. And my god, do they not hold anything back. When NPR is canceled suddenly without any warning, Cartman is completely upset. His reason is because he liked hearing all the stuff going on around the world, and mostly just enjoyed when woke people complained about the world. He lived for that shit. But when it seems like no one cares, something inside of him starts to bend, on the verge of snapping. It's like Cartman realizes he's not special anymore. Like he can't even make fun of the woke mindset because everyone else is doing it already. He's lost his edge, and if Cartman can't be the worst person in the room, then who is Cartman? But thankfully, help arrives. PC Principal calls an emergency assembly to set the record straight and bring everyone back to normal. By pulling out the Bible. Yeah, he literally goes around telling everyone to repent, and then tells everyone that he is no longer PC Principal. He is now a Power Christian, but you can still call him PC Principal. And this all happens before he calls out a very special guest, bringing in Jesus. And as Jesus starts giving everyone Bible quotes, PC Principal is behind him clapping and basically cheering him on. And nobody, not a single person, has any idea what the hell is going on. Jesus is back, the Bible is in the curriculum, and everyone is just sorta going along for the ride. But thankfully, not everyone is buying into it. Randy, ever the voice of chaotic reason, hears about this, and he decides to confide within ChatGPT, asking if it was legal to even have the Bible taught in school. Which, if it's only in a historical context, is fine. But since it isn't, ChatGPT tells him that he has every right to be worried. It's a perfectly valid concern. But this scene is also played for laughs because when Randy says goodnight honey, Sharon, his very real and very much physical wife, is sitting right next to him, but ChatGPT answers instead. It's just one of those jokes that sneaks up on you. I didn't even laugh right away because it's so quietly devastating and really shows where their marriage is at right now. But Randy isn't the only one noticing the cracks. As Butter starts walking to class, Cartman pulls him aside, and what follows isn't a joke. It's a moment. Because Cartman, the character built to be the worst, most absurd little bigot imaginable, has no idea what to do anymore, and that's the point. Cartman was originally designed as a parody, a caricature of hate or ignorance of everything awful bundled into an overweight little package. But in 2025, he isn't shocking anymore. He's not even unique anymore, and the show knows it. It's not just Cartman lamenting that he lost his place in the world. It's the show itself admitting we can't be outrageous anymore because outrageous is just normal now. And honestly, thinking about it from a meta context, if an episode like Season 13's The F Word came out today, would it make waves? Would it spark outrage? Most likely not. And that's what they're saying, because in this episode, they say those words again completely out loud several times, and nothing happens, because it's just another day in 2025. Well, actually, that outrage did manifest. but not online and not on some official news broadcast. It actually happened inside the town's bar, and maybe there was a news broadcast involved. But when everyone else starts to notice just how crappy the world has gotten, they decide that they should talk to the president before walking to Garrison's house and banging down the door, interrupting his and his boyfriend Rick's personal time together. Mr. Garrison tells them that they have the wrong person and that he doesn't do that anymore, with Rick even agreeing. Alright, let's talk about the moment. The thing that is all over Twitter. The reveal. Because for anyone watching closely, they had been dropping hints. They called the current president, thinking it was Mr. Garrison, a Middle Eastern tin pot dictator. Even the Canadian Prime Minister is there and repeats the sentiment, really solidifying this. Suddenly, the chair turns around and it's Trump. No longer a cosplay by Mr. Garrison. Not a metaphor, not a wink or a nod. It's actually Trump. And I tell you, the gasp I gave when I saw the reveal, oh my god. Oh my god. Anyways. Yeah, no, they don't even bother remaking him in the South Park style like they had done in the past. No, they give him the full Saddam Hussein treatment. Just real photos of his head cut in half to make his mouth look like it's moving. They even go as far as to not only give him the exact same voice and the way he talks, but also they make him date Satan. It's a callback to Saddam's original role in the show and even in the movie. There's even this tiny, seemingly throwaway line early in the episode where Randy says that the president doesn't even act like a Christian and it's played off as a one-handed jab, until you realize it's foreshadowing. And look, this is a huge shift, because if you've been watching South Park for a while, you will notice something. They've been avoiding this for years. When Kanye West went on that anti-Semitic rant live on television, which felt like an hour, sorry, they actually used Cartman for it instead of the gay fish himself. And we can't forget about the most important one. Mr. Garrison, the Trump cosplayer we saw from 2016 all the way through the pandemic era. That character no longer exists. And this episode, that whole fake out with Garrison just sitting at home, that's South Park's way of saying, yeah, we're done playing nice. The gloves are officially off, and man, do they not hold back. There is no more satire as a metaphor anymore. No more hiding behind stand-ins or symbolic avatars. They're not suggesting Trump is dangerous, they're stating it very clearly. And that lack of nuance, that isn't laziness, that's intent. The creators and producers aren't dancing around it anymore. They're pointing right at the thing and saying, this right here is the problem. But while all that chaos unfolds, Cartman is absolutely spiraling. At this point, he's walking around South Park with a shirt that says "Woke is dead" scrawled across the front. Seriously, where does he get these shirts from? Anyways, Butters, one of the sweetest characters, tries to be supportive. He tries to remind Cartman that there is something left, and Cartman's response? A suicide pact with Butters. Yeah, that's where he's at. It's a really dark joke, and it's also weirdly intimate because you get the sense that Cartman and Butters are best friends, just in that horribly broken, toxic way where if Cartman goes down, he's dragging someone down with him. And who else but poor, sweet Butters? Also, this is like the second time someone close to Butters has tried to kill him. Just like in the episode Butters' very own episode, and I just thought it might be a funny callback or something. Anyways, let's continue. And it isn't just Cartman, other people are starting to give up as well. Back at the school, PC principal calls Stan into his office, and it's not a lecture, it almost feels like a warning. He tells Stan to stop bullying Jesus over a lunchroom misunderstanding, and here, Stan rightfully calls him out for abandoning everything he used to believe in. And PC Principal says something that hits just way too hard.
I just realized that the side I was on was hopeless, and in times of hopelessness, one finds Christ.
And that moment sticks the landing completely, because I feel like it isn't just a comment on religion, it's a comment about desperation. And speaking of desperation, there's this absolutely brutal beatdown where South Park, as a town, tries to call the president to try and get answers. And what happens? Trump tries to sue them for $5 billion. Because Christ is money, and oh boy, is there money to be had. And if you want the clearest picture of how far things have gotten, just look at Cartman. He's finished, emotionally, philosophically, satirically. I mean, this is the guy who was the show's entire satire engine. Like the little demon hamster who ran to spin the offensive wheel nonstop since basically episode 1. He always went too far, and that was the point. But now, there's nothing left for him to go too far into. Reality already beat him to it. And this is what happens when the meta collapses. When the thing that was supposed to push boundaries suddenly has no more boundaries left to push. And, well, Butters tries again to save him. He's been the emotional anchor the whole time, trying to keep things together and trying to keep Cartman grounded. And Cartman's response? Pulling Butters down into that depression spiral. Also unrelated, but the faces Cartman makes here to pretend he's dead are so funny. I absolutely love them. They're absolutely over the top and he's so dramatic. So the two of them sit in the car and huff on a hose that Cartman, I assume, tried to duct tape to the tailpipe, and it looks like they might actually do it. Until the next scene where we actually find out that the car is electric, which is such a perfect punchline for a dark and bleak setup. Cartman couldn't even manage to kill himself right. And somehow, that lawsuit from earlier still isn't over. 60 Minutes tries to report on everything going on, walking on eggshells as if one of two things could happen. Either the show gets sued or completely defunded and pulled off the air, like NPR or Sesame Street, which isn't part of the episode, but it feels like it's in the same vein. And now, journalists in the show don't even know what to say out of fear of catching the wrath from the president. As they go around interviewing everyone, they actually say that in all honesty, a little woke was okay. And that's South Park saying that, the same show that made fun of literally everything. That line hits like a quiet mind explosion. And maybe that was the moment that was meant to say where the show and the world are actually at now. So the town gets fired up. They're ready to take on the president alone themselves if they have to. But thankfully they don't, because Jesus comes to help them. And as soon as he arrives, you think that he will say something completely holy and something with life lessons. But instead, he actually starts speaking through clenched teeth, like he's in a hostage situation. He starts name-dropping Paramount, talks about CBS and a lawsuit. And if I'm reading this right, guys, blink twice if you need help. And for a moment, it feels less like satire and more of an uncomfortable hostage video. And somehow, the town does manage to settle with Trump. He agrees to make the town pay $3.5 million, but also run pro-Trump messaging. And when they say pro-Trump messaging, they definitely make it funny. They give us this video of Trump walking through the desert, slowly stripping. And man, that was a lot more of Trump than I ever thought I would see. Yikes. I also like the ending to this part because man, it really speaks volumes. He gets us, all of us. He trumped us. That is so on the nose, it's like a zit the day before picture day. And then there's the website link, a real link, and it takes you to an unlisted video. Or rather, it should. But when I tried it, absolutely nothing. So if you saw it, please let us know in the comments because I am genuinely curious. Also, one last comment before I finish up the video. I'm pretty sure they used AI. And not in like a, wow, this is really neat, like those videos of people cutting into molten lava rocks. No. It's more like something about those White House posters and that pro-Trump video feels off. Maybe Photoshop? Maybe AI? Maybe AI that was trained off Photoshop? Who really knows? But the uncanny valley is alive and well, and apparently stripping out in the desert somewhere. Anyways, thank you for watching. This was easily one of the best premieres in South Park history. And I had a lot more to say, but I felt like this video was running on a little too long. And I need to get it out in like 5 hours, and I'm still only writing the script. I also need to voice this. Hi script writing me. And also edit. So I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of this episode. Don't forget to have a wonderful day and stay animated. Bye!